Well, as the stock market soared over the past decade, many investors paid close attention to the high-flying startup companies known as unicorns. But with the market stumbling to a loss last year, have the unicorns fallen out of favor? In this morning's U.S. Bank Economic 360, U.S. Bank Senior Vice President Mike Denneman is here to discuss what might be in store for these companies in 2019. He is with Kelly Snyder, Market Engagement Director for the Courier. Kelly and Mike.
So, Mike, refresh our memory.
Yeah.
What exactly are these unicorns?
Right, unicorn sounds kind of whimsical, right? How does that relate to investing? Yeah, but so this is a term that over the last decade has kind of taken on a specific meaning in the investing world. So these are startup companies that have a theoretical valuation of more than $1 billion. And so that's what grabs attention, $1 billion. Wow. That's a big number even for an established company, let alone one that's brand new, one that's still in private hands. That's important too. These are companies that have not yet had their initial public offerings, still controlled by the founders, still controlled by the private investors who have put money in. And because of this, they tend to be some household names too. So when they do come to market, recent unicorns that have made their debut are companies like Snapchat or Blue Apron, Stitch Fix. So names we're all familiar with. And so when they do come public, they grab some headlines. Investors tend to pay attention.
So Peg just mentioned that the market was down in 2018. Yeah. How does this affect the unicorns? Yeah,
that's a great question because when you look at the balance of 18, yes, on the whole it was a year that was down. If we think back to the middle of the year, though, it was doing, the market was pretty strong. And so that's a nice window for these unicorn companies if they decide they want to go public. So we did see quite a number that did come to market when the market was doing well. Not necessarily maybe the household names that we're familiar with, though. So we didn't get the same kind of buzz last year that we've had in previous years. But important, too, to remember why the market is important to these companies. So if you own a private company and you want to sell shares to the public, you're going to want to do that when the market is high, right? You want to get as much value for your company as you possibly can. Sure. And so when the market is doing well, these companies are rushing to market so that they can cash in. When things take a turn for the worse, like they did at the end of last year, then, maybe not so much.
So what can we expect in 2019?
Yeah, so that's the big mystery, right? And so, what we're seeing now is kind of a replay of what we've seen at the beginning of any number of recent years. And that is this speculation that, is this the year that we finally see the big names of the unicorns come to market? And so we're talking companies like Uber, Airbnb, Pinterest, Lyft. These are kind of the crown jewels of the unicorn world. Investors have been waiting years to get a piece of these companies, but they've been very patient. They've held back. So the speculation is, will 2019 finally be the year that they come to market? So obviously we don't know yet, but there is this line of thinking that 2018 was a down year. And if that's signaling that the market's reached a peak and maybe heading the other way, that could be some strong incentive for these companies to finally get off the sideline, to finally come to market. So we'll have to wait and see. It'll be fun to watch, but everyone's been waiting for the big boys. This might finally be the year.
Great. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely.